chosen spot of all this earth as far as nature.
I apologize, so sorry.
Heart,
Oh my gosh.
Northern California's wine country. A destination of choice for nature lovers and wellness seekers. Sonoma County is where life opens up. But don't take our word for it. Ask the travel experts.
Sonoma County is an ideal setting for a classic wine country holiday, but with a diversity that sets it apart from most winelands. Sonoma County is forging ahead to achieve a more sustainable future.
Ask the wine experts.
Historic yet forward-thinking, innovative yet traditional, and coastal yet mountainous. The most dynamic and resilient wine region in America right now.
I cannot think of a better county as far as a particular region in the world where you can have so many different microclimates.
The food experts.
Known for its vibrant local food scene, it's the ground zero for farm-to-table cuisine.
It's extremely important for them to have an opportunity to come and see an actual working farm. Having a farm in Sonoma County is incredible. It's beautiful here.
And the wellness experts.
Almost as famous for blissful pampering as it is for wine touring and fine dining.
I've never been somewhere where the community rallies behind you like they have us. I've never seen it before, and it's why we're here. It's why we've made it.
Sonoma County is the ideal place to gather, and everyone is welcome. For business, for pleasure, for new beginnings, and all of life's celebrations. Connect with our local artisans and makers who create extraordinary products and experiences. We've saved you a spot. Reconnect with nature and immerse yourself in local culture. Learn from the wisdom of those who respect and protect this beautiful and biodiverse region. And join us in preserving this very special place for generations to come.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2022 Sonoma County Tourism Annual Meeting. I'm Edward Rowe, General Manager of the Fairmont Sonoma Mission Inn and Spa, and also the Chairperson of the Sonoma County Tourism Board of Directors. We're thrilled you have joined us for what we know will be an informative, insightful, and relevant meeting today. As you arrived, you saw a few of the video assets Sonoma County Tourism produced during the year. Video is a critical component of the marketing and sales initiative. While each of these videos is intended for a particular audience and industry segment or convey the brand, life opens up in Sonoma County. The theme of today's conference is collaborative, navigate, elevate. Mountain climbers would say Sonoma County is the col, which is the space between two peaks, considered an excellent place for navigation and creating a plan for the path forward ahead. Finding a way to the next peak will take great strategy, innovation, and collaboration. While we know every business has some competition with others in the industry, the best way for Sonoma County to succeed as a destination is with everyone working in tandem towards a common set of goals. Today our goal is to provide insight, inspiration, and practical ways to navigate the ongoing headwinds. We're seeing forging new partnerships and elevate your business. Before moving forward, it is important that we, as an industry, recognize the ancestry of our lands. Sonoma County Tourism has integrated the following lands acknowledgement into its diversity, equity, and inclusion statement. As an organization that resides in Sonoma County, we align with the County of Sonoma in recognizing that we are on the ancestral lands of Coast Miwok, the Pomo, and the Wapu, who are the original caretakers of this area. We respectfully acknowledge the indigenous people who who have been stewards and maintain their relationship on this land as knowledge keepers for the millennia. We thank the indigenous people of Sonoma County and so appreciate the heritage and legacy they have with this region. This afternoon, our agenda is a packed one. First, we'll take an opportunity to look back at the last year. 21-22 was a year of recovery and an ongoing financial challenge. We look at how the year ended and the fiscal results. We then look forward with great anticipation. The Sonoma County Tourism team will provide an update on programming planned for the very busy fall-winter campaign season, the dynamic group business development initiatives, the re-emergence of international travel, and the robust community engagement initiatives. We're pleased to have Patrick Smyton from Tourism Economics with us virtually to share the state of the industry, both on a nationwide and local level, and look ahead at what we might expect for the remainder of the year. We close with hearing from Kevin Jorgensen, a Sonoma County native who made a tremendous mark on the mountain climbing world with his ascent of El Capitan. We're so glad to see you all in person and continue with face-to-face meetings. This has definitely been a year of starts and stops as it relates to group gatherings, but it looks like we may be seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Fiscal year 21-22 was a year marked by brisk visitation, followed by a softening in the midsummer. As a hotelier, we saw shorter than ever booking windows. While the ADR was strong, the volatility made planning very difficult. Certainly, workforce continued to be a challenge, and it's getting only slightly better. As professionals in the tourism industry, we are so grateful for all you do to create a vibrant Sonoma County tourism industry. Before we look forward to this year, let's look back to fiscal year 21-22. First, Laurie, Sonoma County Tourism's Vice President of Finance and Operations, will provide the end-of-year accounting of Sonoma County Tourism's fiscal statement. Over to Laurie.
Thank you, Edward, and good afternoon, everyone. As Edward mentioned, between restrictions, supply chain issues, and staffing shortages, there have been many obstacles facing both businesses and individuals over the last couple of years. For our fiscal year 2021-22, which runs July 1st to June 30th, we spent just under $9.5 million in programming. As always, the largest portion is spent on marketing and public relations at almost 60% of total expenditures. Business development and travel trade received 16.2%, community engagement 7.4%, and administrative programs at 16.6%. I'll go through some of the highlights of our year in the next couple slides. Sonoma County has been fortunate to experience a faster recovery than industry predictions over the fiscal year. We based our original budget on 2019 calendar year actuals as a base. We received the first 1.25% of the TOT collected in the unincorporated area and saw higher than anticipated growth in revenue. Each quarter was above 100%, with the fiscal year coming in at 153.9% of 2019. The BIA, which is a 2% assessment on room revenue for all properties earning more than $350,000 in the county, except for the towns of Sonoma and Healdsburg, also saw strong results. The BIA came in at 116% for the fiscal year, with the unincorporated area driving that growth at 156.2%. The cities had a slower recovery on their BIA, but finished the year 90 to 100% of 2019 actuals. The April to June quarter saw almost every municipality exceed the same quarter in 2019. Other income that we benefited from in this fiscal year was some of the funding available from relief acts passed by the government. We officially received forgiveness of our PPP loan in January, as well as receiving payroll tax credits for periods not covered by the PPP loan. Our marketing team took advantage of programs offered through Visit California to participate in cooperative marketing ads with a cashback incentive. As we saw our revenue increasing to our original budget, we adjusted our financial forecasts for the year to add an additional programming. In addition to our normal seasonal campaigns, we use some of those additional funds to implement a responsible travel campaign in the spring. Our advertising agency also helped create additional influencer campaigns and increase our library of digital images across the county, along with meetings and wedding focused material. Our new senior manager of digital marketing has been instrumental in developing our Sonoma County app and continues to work with the team to evolve it. We continue to invest in research to better understand our visitors and help guide our marketing and operational efforts. We were proud to help sponsor local events that drive visitation to the county, such as the Artisan Cheese Fest and the Taste of Sonoma. Our business development team hit the ground running in the fall and hasn't stopped since. They've organized several FAM and site tours with different meeting planner groups to introduce and highlight the destination. We held a large client event in LA in March to showcase Sonoma County and our partners to journalists, meeting planners, and tour operators in the market. The team participated in many trade shows through the year, ranging from the very large industry events such as IMEX and IPW to smaller, more focused events such as MPI, Visit California roadshows, and luxury forums. While at some of these more local events, they sponsored functions to further highlight our destination. Not to be left out, our community engagement team was also very busy interacting with the community and pushing forward our sustainability and stewardship efforts. We forged a partnership with Leave No Trace and restarted our Destination Stewardship and Resiliency Master Plan. We continued to build our AHP program and held our first in-person Stars of the Industry Gala to celebrate our tourism community. We moved to a hybrid office environment in July 2021, which has helped reduce our overall operating expenses, as well as create a happy and engaged team. We were able to add staff back in sooner than anticipated in the year, also using natural attrition to restructure our team to meet our new programming needs. Our staff participated in many conferences throughout the year, both virtual and in person. Many of those conferences included team members being part of panel discussions regarding our efforts in the stewardship and sustainability movements, our marketing initiatives. Thank you, and I will turn it back to Edward to introduce the team and the board that make all this happen.
Thank you, Laurie. This has been a tremendously difficult year to forecast and reforecast. We appreciate Laurie and Sonoma County Tourism's financial and legal committee's diligence in managing such a fluid financial situation. Sonoma County Tourism is in good hands with Laurie as our financial lead. It's been a year of dramatic achievements and challenges. Let's take a look at some of Sonoma County Tourism's programs, partner recognitions, and accomplishments over the past year. I now direct your attention to
a year of recovery. In fiscal year 21-22, we focused our attention on resetting and re-energizing the Sonoma County tourism industry. Our board crafted a new mission and vision, reflecting our continued commitment to destination stewardship. The mission: inspire overnight travel to Sonoma County that bolsters the region's economy and encourages responsible stewardship of the community's abundant resources. The vision: Sonoma County will be the premier destination in North America for responsible travelers who enjoy, protect, and preserve the area's bountiful natural and cultural resources. Sonoma County Tourism worked to accomplish goals within 3 key priorities: business recovery, destination stewardship, and organizational sustainability. Priority 1, business recovery. Marketing efforts leaned into wellness and local storytelling. Business development got back in the game. Our international marketing efforts were relaunched, and the Sonoma Sound was created.
It is a destination for wellness experiences. There are more than 40 spas and wellness centers here in Sonoma County, so there's a little something for everybody.
Life opens up in Sonoma County, California, and Hannah is live from the Vintners Resort in Sonoma County with
We found some of the country's best wellness experts and paired them with travel influencers. They worked together to create itineraries backed by science. Then they set out to prove that their itineraries worked.
Art excursion, sip and paint.
Herb folk,
Woods and Family Winery, Griffin Story here in Sonoma.
Farm to pantry.
My name is Brad Beard, owner and winemaker for Mercury Wine.
Shitting Cheese Company.
In Sonoma, which is the heart of wine country, you'll experience a wonderful luxury level of service. That's certainly our difference, and it's Sonoma County's difference. And also it's where life opens up.
Priority 2, Destination Stewardship. The place worth visiting is a place worth protecting. Joining the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, we've continued to evolve the platform to include initiatives that shape consumer behavior toward protecting our region's natural and cultural resources.
As far as awards go, this is probably the highest that I never dreamed that I would be up for. And I really thank you for it. Thank you.
Safety is key. Be mindful of river currents and wave conditions. To protect wildlife and waterways, pack out everything you pack in, including rafts and tubes. Let's keep our beaches beautiful and have a great summer. From Sonoma County Tourism and Sonoma County Regional Parks.
You'll find yourself not just visiting, but wanting to leave this place even better than you found it. That is, if you can bring yourself to leave it all.
I'm truly excited to announce a new endeavor from our organization that is full of opportunities for any of you in tourism and hospitality.
Priority 3, organizational sustainability. Sonoma County Tourism worked diligently to manage its budget and create a vibrant work environment. We look forward to collaborating with you as we navigate the year to come and elevate the Sonoma County tourism industry.
Pretty good, huh? So, thanks to all in this room for helping accomplish so much during last year. More information regarding last year is available in the fiscal year 21-22 annual report. If you haven't received yours, they're at the back of the room. The digital version is available at sonomacounty.com/partners. Now, let's now look ahead to fiscal year 2022-2023. As required by Sonoma County Tourism Ordinance, Sonoma County Tourism must ratify the members of the Board of Directors and all committees during this meeting. Bill, Sonoma County Tourism's legal counsel, will conduct this portion of the meeting. Over to you, Bill.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you, Edward. And let me join in welcoming all of you to the 2022 annual meeting of Sonoma County Tourism. Again, my name is Bill Arnone, and I've been privileged to serve as legal counsel for SCT since its inception. Consistent with this organization's core value of transparency, I would like to briefly describe the legal context for this meeting. SCT is a California nonprofit corporation that was formed in January of 2005. As such, its affairs are managed by a board of directors. The composition of that board was determined by the same Sonoma County ordinance that created the Sonoma County Tourism Business Improvement Area, or BIA. The ordinance specifies that SCT is responsible for managing funds designated for the promotion of tourism within Sonoma County. And a contract between the county and SCT details the terms pursuant to which SCT manages those funds. SCT has a 22-member board of directors. Directors are appointed each year to serve one-year terms. Appointments to the board are allocated based on funding provided each year by the county from its TOT funds and by lodging operators from the BIA assessments that they pay. SCT's bylaws establish that board members will be appointed each year at the organization's annual meeting. Earlier today, the board took the formal action necessary to appoint directors for the 2022 and 2023 fiscal year. It is my pleasure to introduce you to those board members. So, switch to the next slide. On your screen, you will see a list of directors and officers appointed by the board to serve in 2022-2023, and I would like to invite the members of the board who are in attendance today to stand and be recognized for their service. So please, board members, stand up if you will. And if we can switch to the next slide. The next slide you will see a list of the ex officio board members who provide invaluable insight and support to the organization, as well as a list of the board members who serve on the executive committee. With a 22-member board, it's essential for there to be a smaller body that can act when needed in between regular meetings of the full board. And if we can switch to the last slide. Finally, SCT could not perform its duties without the support and hard work of committees comprised of both board members and industry professionals that do not serve on the board. These community volunteers devote countless hours to the many tasks required to manage the business and implement the programs of Sonoma County Tourism. And again, I would like to invite the committee members in attendance today to stand and be recognized for their service. So committee members, please stand and be recognized. Board members, you're on committee too. Thank you. And now I would like to turn the program back over to this year's chairman of the board, Mr. Edward Rowe.
You can give Bill a round of applause. Yeah. Well, thank you, Bill, and thank you again to our board and committee members. While your input is always valuable, during this past couple of years in particular, it's never been more critical. So I'm honored to serve with you, and I also want to extend my great thanks to the Sonoma County Tourism staff for your tenacity and professionalism during these challenging times. You've done a tremendous job keeping the organization moving forward in a strategic, creative, and collaborative way. I'd like to have the Sonoma County staff stand. The Sonoma County Tourism staff, please stand. Yeah, thank you. And thank you to a truly extraordinary team. Now I'm going to turn it over to the most important person in this room. Over to Claudia, President and CEO of Sonoma County Tourism, who will introduce the remainder of the agenda. Over to Claudia. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. It's so nice to have you all here, and as we celebrate what I think was a pretty amazing year, and hopefully from the 8 minutes worth of overview, you got to see a little bit of what the SCT team did, and I just could not be more thrilled to work with such an extraordinary group of people. I count myself lucky every single day. We have a small programming note here. So Andrew Leary, who was originally going to join us to talk about Leave No Trace and the great programming that Devin and the community engagement team are really undertaking with him, he's unable to join us today because of a family emergency. So we're going to turn the time over to Patrick Smyton from Tourism Economics. Patrick, are you here? He's virtually with us, hopefully.
I'm here virtually, Claudia.
Excellent.
Yes.
And so he will be able to provide there we are. He'll be able to provide an overview of the economic situation we currently find ourselves in, and then some forecasting for the next few months ahead. So thank you, Patrick, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Let me share my screen and start the presentation, and if you could just give me a shout that you're seeing it come through.
Yep.
Yes. Everything look good?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, it's a pleasure to be with you all today. I certainly wish I could be there in person, especially because I'd like to enjoy my favorite beverage from your region. Finding the open. Probably weren't expecting that, but got a lot of winos in the room. But anyways, on to the agenda. So today I'll cover what we're seeing across the industry, and then bring it down to local level and show how Sonoma County has been performing these last few months, and actually really back into this post-COVID recovery, as Edward was speaking about earlier. And then I'll touch on some potential headwinds and signs of optimism that we're seeing kind of on a global level. So first, looking at the industry as a whole, following a softening across the industry in early 2022 with the Omicron variant, we've really seen ADR recover pretty steadily across the rest of the year. It's been ahead of 2019 while occupancy remains behind slightly, but is stable in its recovery. Looking at group demand specifically, I was actually surprised when I saw this data point that group demand is down only 7% this summer relative to 2019. So really saw some improvement throughout Q1, and that really continued into the summer months. I think a big topic in our industry has been the airline industry, the airline sector of our industry. And really, despite all the concerns about staffing issues and flight cancellations and everything associated, when we're looking at the TSA volumes that we're seeing across the country, comparing against 2019, this industry has been within 10% of 2019 levels for most of 2022. And in the last few weeks, really only off 4% to 2019 levels. So really quite strong recovery for the airline industry. And when we look at air travel prices, while they showed quite a sharp spike earlier in 2022, really kind of related to demand and fuel prices, we've seen those begin to decline with 2018 as a basis point. So now focusing more so on what we're seeing in the Sonoma County area. Our team works closely with Claudia and her team. We meet regularly. We're looking at your data quite regularly and just making sure things are running smoothly for you all. So here's a couple highlights that we wanted to focus on for today. So looking at the most recent months, occupancy in Sonoma County has declined just a little bit from peaks that you saw in both April and June, slightly behind prior year and behind 2019. However, in looking at some of your peers, both a couple counties and a region in Northern California, we are seeing similar trends, looking at results in Napa County, looking at results in Monterey County, and looking at results in the South Lake Tahoe area, which are all segments, competitors that Sonoma County Tourism tracks on a monthly basis. They've all been below 2019 in terms of occupancy in 2022. Monterey has shown some increases lately to at least 2021, but just very slight increases. And really what we think is driving some of this is the supply growth in your county. Looking back 3 years, so August 2022 as it relates to August 2019 supply, Sonoma County room supply grew 13%. That's almost 1,000 room nights, 1,000 daily rooms that are in the market now that were not there in 2019. Just really not seeing the same effect in South Lake Tahoe, Napa, or Monterey counties. So we think a lot of this is driving some of the occupancy down. However, the good news is that across the county, your ADRs are at record levels. May, June, July saw really strong levels. June was a peak at $256. Every month since 2021, in fact, in June 2021, has been ahead of 2019. Looking across those same competitive counties and areas nearby Sonoma County, seeing similar trends, ADR trends for those regions. And notably, Monterey saw a spike in August with their annual Pebble Beach Automotive Week. $378 average rate in the county of Monterey just this past month. And again, the good news for the Sonoma County hotels collectively, with the supply growth that you've seen and ADRs really well ahead of those 2019 levels, revenues have reached records. June was the highest month ever, over $43 million. And while July and August slightly down, still quite strong, much higher than your 2019 revenues. We'd like to look at a couple different sources. So Sonoma County Tourism has data both from STR that tracks the hotel business, of course, but also AirDNA, which can track the short-term lodging sector. And we combine these two into this view to see what's the lodging revenue overall and what's the share between these two parts of the business. So prior to the pandemic, we were seeing hotel share above 60%. This chart starts in August 2020, and you're seeing some below 50% for hotels, some now back into the 50% range, 50 to 55%. And it really does kind of represent a shift in our industry where there's kind of a more permanent shift to some short-term rentals based on some of the remote work scenarios. We're seeing this in other markets similar to yours, where the short-term rental industry has grown. Certainly some local effects in terms of what your county might have in place for regulations on this industry. But we will continue to track this as it relates to the hotel performance in your market. We also look at the data from the airport in Santa Rosa, looking at the airport passengers on a monthly basis. And really 2022 has been at all-time highs throughout the year. Some of the recent flights that have been added, including the Abello Airlines flights, from Burbank and Las Vegas, really driving some increase that you're seeing really at the end of 2021, but has continued into 2022. And we also look at, I mentioned earlier, the national levels on TSA passenger levels, volumes across the U.S., kind of being maybe 10 to 5% below where they were in 2019. Well, the Sonoma County Airport is actually 28% ahead on a year-to-date basis to 2019 levels. And looking around the region, for instance, San Francisco Airport is down 31% for those same periods. So certainly some share that they're losing in terms of some of the international flights that have not quite yet returned to the market, but good to see some of the strength in terms of some of the markets you're catering to on the West Coast. And we also pull in data on a monthly basis from a company called OAG that provides both origin and destination specific data. So this is, we're able to see people who are specifically arriving at the Sonoma County Airport, regardless of if it's direct flight or a layover. And we're also stripping out from this data set any locals who are based in that area. So what this is telling you is that in 2022, each month has been ahead of 2019 levels in terms of visiting passengers. And what we're seeing in 2022 overall for these first 7 months is almost 20% of those passengers are from Burbank as an origin, with 11% coming out of Seattle and 10% from San Diego. In 2019, the biggest share was out of Los Angeles specifically. So you're seeing a lot more of a spread in those the southwestern markets, the Southern California markets, with still a nod from Seattle as well. So looking a little bit more broadly at maybe some headwinds that we're seeing and maybe some signs of optimism that might be coming down the road for our industry. So luckily, while I'm not an economist, I'm a former DMO and hotelier specifically. We are an economics company. We are part of Oxford Economics, so we do have a lot of good research and data available. So looking at this, in this particular instance, small business optimism index fell lower initially during 2020, of course, then recovered, but then has fallen again, although not quite as low as the levels during the financial crisis. Looking at consumer sentiment and confidence, very low. Consumer sentiment, in fact, is lower than during the financial crisis period in 2008, 2009. But what's interesting is that we're seeing spending continue to rise, and that shift has started to move from goods to services, which is really important for our industry. I'm sure most in the room are representing some sector of the service industry, be it hotels, restaurants, attractions, wineries, breweries, etc. So really a lot of goods saw that surge in 2021. It's good to see that we're seeing services recover in 2022. Of course, we think workforce is certainly an issue, and Edward mentioned that earlier. Overall for our industry, while the economy has recovered, back 1% ahead of where we were in 2019 at this point for overall jobs, our industry remains behind. And taking maybe a closer look at this, it's really especially poor for hotels and accommodations. It is worth noting, I did actually just double check the data that we have from the BLS. The Sonoma County figures, the most recent months, actually do show that the sector has fully recovered to 2019 levels. However, mentioned earlier about those 1,000 additional rooms that are in the market relative to 2019, so kind of represents that there is still a shortfall on an employee per room basis in your market. Looking at the economy as a whole, after GDP declined in the first half of the year, Oxford Economics, we are expecting growth in the final 2 quarters. That said, we're keeping a close eye on the yield curve, which the economists in our office will tell me is a predictor of a recession. So that's certainly showing signs of risk as we approach 2023. And because of that, Oxford Economics is expecting that we'll have a recession in 2023. This is very hotly debated in the financial industries in terms of who's calling this, who's not calling this, but really based on some of that, the decline in GDP in the first half of 2023, we do expect that there will be a recession. However, we do think relative to past recessions, especially the last 2, which were extreme, the recession will be mild. It will be especially mild for our industry. For a lot of the factors that I've touched on and I'll continue to speak about here, we do think there is some resiliency in our sector that will withstand some of the issues that might persist that are causing this recession. Certainly inflation is a major issue. It's a large part of why there's the anticipation of a recession. And I believe the Fed raised rates just today, another 75 basis points. And we do expect the Fed will continue to raise rates based on this inflation persisting. We are expecting a gradual descent inflation, but inflation should remain historically high in 2023. Shifting to more positive views, household debt and net worth, both some interesting scenarios to look at. Despite some short-term declines, really remain very healthy. Household net worth, we've seen over the last couple of years, households have been able to stock away over $2 trillion in cash based on some of the shifts in spending and savings and based on some of the work from home issues, et cetera. A lot of it is being drawn down now based on some of those increased costs that we're seeing across the economy, but still remains very high and historically at high levels. Businesses are also doing quite well. Corporate profits are strong. Host, especially important in our industry, owning many hotels across the country, noted in the recent earnings call that all segments are recovering and they see room for growth across the industry. And they're noting especially some room for growth in segments like business transient and group. So really, while leisure has kind of dominated the recovery thus far, we do see some signs for some growth in both of those segments. Also, job growth across the broad economy just continues to be very, very resilient and robust. Unemployment rate went from really just a dismal 15% all the way back down to below 4%, record growth in terms of the last 2 years. So really strong signs of recovery across many, many sectors. We're looking at group bookings here through an aggregate view of DMOs across the U.S. Sonoma County very likely is included in this data set. This is an aggregate of 250 plus U.S. DMOs that we track with our partners at SimpleView and to Synergize. And what this is showing is that there's been a much better recovery in this market in 2022, really following an up and down 2021 with some signs of recovery. And then, the Delta variant really affected this business, and certainly the Omicron variant into December and January dampened some of the growth that we were seeing in bookings. But we are seeing it start to recover and get closer to those 2019 levels. And especially based on what we're seeing along with survey data, they've been in the market now for over 2 years, asking for travelers' intentions in the next 6 months. Are they going to be traveling? For the longest time, this was impacted by COVID. Luckily, that's kind of gone away. Intentions to travel are 90% or higher. Some of the issues that folks have mentioned, which I haven't really covered today, is gas prices, which have actually, given the declines of the last 2 or 3 months, really not as much of an issue. Certainly overall costs remain perhaps an issue, but so far we do think that our industry will continue to recover. We remain optimistic, and we believe our industry will prevail through these headwinds as we always have. So thank you so much for having me, and I'll turn it back to Claudia.
Thank you, Patrick. As a research-driven organization, these kinds of insights from tourism economics and the other research companies we work with, such as Longwoods International, and the performance indicators he talked about with Air DNA and Star Report and others, this is really what informs our decisions, and everything that our marketing team does, everything our business development team does is based on insights. And so this is a critically important component of Sonoma County tourism. I will tell you that dashboard that Patrick talked about from Tourism Economics is available on our website at sonomacounty.com/partners. You see that updated monthly, and it's a really dynamic piece of research, and that you can measure and you can track and you can look at a variety of different aspects of that dashboard, and it's really a dynamic piece of research. So if you have any questions for Patrick, please let us know. You can email me or email Conrad, who is our Senior Research Director, and we will get him Senior Research Managers. He should be director, he's really smart. But we can find out that information from Tourism Economics and get that back to you. So we know that that's a critical piece of information. So as we look ahead, I want to just point out that we continue to be driven and guided by our strategic plan, which is a 2-year strategic plan, FY22, FY21 and also fiscal year 22-23. You'll see that in this strategic plan. Those plans are here available for you at the back of the room. But let's just start kind of just a brief recall of who we are as an organization and what we're looking at for 22-23. We continue to be driven by this triple bottom line, and it's the sustainability bottom line that ensures that we as a steward of this destination consider these three critical components. We consider people. We want to consider those of you in the room, the workforce, the workplace environment, how the people of Sonoma County are living, working, and playing as a group. We also look at the planet. I mean, you'll see a number of different programs that we have that are really directed at that sustainability and environmental stewardship piece. But we also look at profit, and it's critically important that we're driving the travelers, responsible travelers, into the doors of our hotels and our restaurants and our retailers and our wineries and all those that are really driven by that visitor-facing economy. So we want to be sure that we have that three components that we're always thinking about as we're looking at how we craft our programming. Our mission and vision was talked about in the year review video, but this is groundbreaking mission and vision from our board, and so big kudos to them to really put a framework around who we are as an organization and our responsible traveler commitment. Our mission being to inspire overnight travel to Sonoma County that bolsters the region economy and encourages responsible stewardship of the community's abundant resource. So that framework around that stewardship piece is super important. And then the vision, Sonoma County will be the premier destination in North America for responsible travelers to enjoy, protect, and preserve the area's bountiful natural and cultural resources. I will tell you, it's the first board that in the country that has really put that framework around mission and vision. It's so common, you hear all the time, well, we have something for everyone, which I think, as far as I'm concerned, is the antithesis of everything that we should be doing in this room. We are focused on getting responsible travelers to this extraordinary place that we get to market and call home. So that's why this mission and vision is so breakthrough and so important. We are guided by key performance indicators. Unlike some key performance indicators in the last fiscal year, which was really a year of recovery, you're starting to see some more metrics. We are going to be aspirational in the way we approach each of these programs, but we want to come back now. We start to think when we see momentum moving forward that we can have a more long-term view of our destination. We can start to put some numbers around recovery. And you'll see that in key performance indicators. Again, those are all available in your in the strategic plan. So now I want to hear from you. I'm hoping this will work. So on your tables, you see the table 10s there, and on one side there's a QR code. If you scan the QR code with your phone, you may have to accept a cookie or two. We're still in the cookie world. But then once you do that, you will see 3 questions. If you could tell us which of these KPIs is most important to your business. Is it shifting business away from weekend to more that midweek travel? Is it increasing group leads to partners by 10% year over year? Or is it continuing to integrate the responsible and sustainable tourism messaging? So we can see the results here immediately as you tap on one of those answers, and we can see really what's most important to this group. Well, far and away, I don't think we have to keep going. Far and away, well here, oh my gosh, group leads is making a run for it. Brian, you can only vote once.
I figured, I was trying to.
All right, so it's good to know that all of these at least are meaningful to you, all in some way, shape, or form, but certainly that shifting away from weekend travel to midweek is something that we at Sonoma County Tourism are very focused on, and we want to be sure that happens, so we're glad to know that you also have that interest. I think we may have one more question in the presentation, so kind of remember how you did this piece of this. We continue to work on those 3 critical priorities: business recovery, destination stewardship, and organizational sustainability. We'll hear much more about all of those here as the team provides a presentation to you. I would say that when we go around and we meet with partners, or we meet with city councils, or we meet with stakeholders or others in the community, the one thing that keeps coming up time and time again is how are we sure our information is in your press releases, gets put on the website, is, you know, how are we sure that we're driving that business? And so I want to introduce you to Emma Schmitz, who just came running in the back door. She's in the coral dress back there, and she's our data and systems specialist, and she's the one who manages our website. So if you have questions about how to get on this hospitality hub, how to upload your information, how to upload images, how to change out contacts, how to do all of those critical components that make sure that you are part of the programming that we do, please, this is the information on how to do that. There's also some flyers and the desk and the tables back there, but Emma's your person. She's your point of contact. Please don't hesitate to let her know if you have any questions. We want you to be successful, and this is the quickest way to doing that. So then we're going to go into our first priority. We're going to hear from the teams, the marketing team and the business development team really are those shaping our capacity to achieve this. And first is business recovery, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Todd O'Leary, our Vice President of Marketing and Communications, to talk about some of the exciting programs they have coming up for this fiscal year.
Okay. All right, thank you, Claudia, and good afternoon, everybody. We'll now showcase the programs the teams have on deck for this year, and we'll provide these to you by key priorities. So, starting with the marketing and communications team. Since launching our Life Opens Up brand about 4 years ago, Sonoma County Tourism has completed an ROI study on our major marketing campaigns. Back in 2018, our brand launch campaign garnered an impressive 166-to-1 ROI. Well, today, I'm elated to share with you that our spring 2022 campaign achieved a whopping 262-to-1 ROI. Our team worked very hard with the funds entrusted to us to promote this destination, and so we're really proud to share this news with all of you today. SCT continues to lean heavily into responsible travel. Over the last year, we developed a new audience targeting profile that allows us to understand the preferences of this market and then serve up messages that resonate with them. When our spring campaign concluded at the end of April, we started focusing solely on responsible travel messaging, a tactic that will continue through the fall. Part of this formative work was a major video project that captured the essence of the destination, told through the lens of our destination stewardship mantra. The following video is one of the new assets we're currently leveraging. Let's take a look.
When you experience a place like this, so untamed, so unhurried, a place where nature is celebrated, revered,
and this land has been protected for generations.
You'll find yourself not just visiting, but wanting to leave this place even better than you found it. That is,
So happy to be here.
if you can bring yourself to leave it all. Sonoma County, where life opens up.
We also just launched a new 3-part video series entitled Beyond the Wine Glass. Guerneville chef and owner Krista Ludke serves as the host of this series as she connects with 3 Sonoma County tastemakers. We are experimenting here with long-form storytelling, allowing the viewer to really get to know our 3 guests: artist Jessica Martin, chef Adrian Chang, and culinary gardener Tucker Taylor. I encourage all of you to check out Beyond the Wine Glass at sonomacounty.com/beyondwineglass. We have just greenlighted a complete overhaul of sonomacounty.com. Next year, we will launch a brand new website that leverages dynamic content to engage visitors and harness personalization technologies to serve users the right content at the right time, including being optimized for both video and imagery. If you haven't already downloaded our new Sonoma County app, I encourage you to get out your mobile phones and scan this QR code with your camera. Since soft launching the app, we have been customizing and optimizing it, and will be officially launching it in the next few weeks. On the surface, our app is a powerful itinerary building tool, but what we're really excited about here are the customizations to the app, including goals and challenges that will reward users. And as first-party data is captured, this information will power our SCT's marketing retargeting efforts. If you didn't get a chance to scan this QR code, no worries. There are posters scattered about the event space today, and our SCT staff will be happy to assist. I'm sure you're all aware of TikTok, or perhaps you've already been sucked into watching hours of video content on it. To speak to the popularity of TikTok, it's the first social media platform to reach 1 billion users faster than any other social app. As SCT works to reach the coveted millennial and Gen Z audiences, and as a tactic to increase brand awareness and engagement, our TikTok channel is already working hard. Since launching this channel earlier this summer, we have already garnered nearly 10,000 views. SCT's owned channel assets like our digital inspiration guide, visitors map, consumer e-newsletter, and wedding guide continue to outperform expectations. We are seeing industry-leading engagement, open rates, and time on site, which is great news for all of you who advertise with us. With us today is Tracy Robison, who advises our partners on which channel may align with your unique business needs. So Tracy, if you would please stand. Tracy will be with us throughout the afternoon and through the reception this afternoon. So if you don't already know Tracy, please go and introduce yourself. And finally, I'm absolutely thrilled to share with all of you some very exciting news. SCT is bringing the Today Show to Sonoma County. We're working with NBC on a project that will include not only a Today Show broadcast from Sonoma County, but also a brand new concept for Today Show fans that will include the Today Show personalities and lots of opportunities to share our beautiful destination on a national stage. We don't have final dates established for this particular project just yet, but we'll be sharing more details about this initiative in the coming months. And so now I'll turn it over to Johnny to walk us through business development.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see so many faces in Sonoma County. It's great to be back in Sonoma County. But faces, that's the name of the game today, and that's what we're going to be talking about mostly through the programming that we're putting together from the business development team. So if we can advance these slides. There we go. So in particular, the meetings industry has changed over the past several years because of the rapid changes in the industry. We wanted to gain a new and fresh perspective on how meeting planners perceived Sonoma County and what it meant to them from that side of the industry. So we partnered with North Star Meetings and conducted a nationwide survey, again, to find the perception of how meeting planners look at Sonoma County. 326 responses came back, and of those responses, we learned that opinions and perceptions of Sonoma County are positive. 66% of respondents have a good or excellent opinion of Sonoma County. 64% think that their clients and groups have a favorable opinion of Sonoma County. And among planners who have held meetings in Sonoma County in the past, 61% say those meetings went smoothly. So, what keeps planners from booking Sonoma County? 67% said they need more exposure, that they're not familiar with the destination, and would need to see it before booking. Herein lies a huge opportunity for our team at Sonoma County Tourism. How top of mind is Sonoma County? Only 11% of planners always consider the destination when looking to book a Northern California meeting. and 66% say they have occasionally or never considered Sonoma County. Again, huge opportunities. On a lighter note, Sonoma County attributes were perceived as wine sampling, scenic, and naturally open spaces. We also learned that challenges when booking a meeting in Sonoma County include cost, air access, and the size of our venues. One planner did say, though, that Sonoma County is a nice alternative to Napa without the prices and the crowds. So it's kind of, we got that going for us. As shown in the recap video, the group business development team has been hard at work showcasing the destination to planners from around the world and making a significant impact. And this year, we are stepping up our games even further. How are we going to address the perception of Sonoma County as a meetings destination? First, we've retained an in-market sales representative in the Midwest, focusing on that market and in the incentive market. Secondly, we're strengthening our industry partnerships with the businesses you see on the right-hand side there. In fiscal year 22-23, we'll be attending 20 trade shows, 2 FAM tours, 4 in-market client activations, and our SCT partner travel co-ops where our partners are able to travel with us. Again, you'll see a common thread throughout this entire presentation that face-to-face is so critical for this organization, for this destination, that we're going to focus on meeting with clients in that face-to-face manner. We're going to continue to spell out our meeting planner incentive programs. We've launched 2 new incentive programs earlier this year, and we're going to continue to build on that to help with booking in the destination. And then finally, Sonoma County tourism sales industry mixers. What we've done is we've integrated our sales teams with your sales teams and bringing together the sales teams from the hotels, venues, and wineries and other partners in the group meeting space in a mixer style format to create a local network of people who work together for the common goal of promoting Sonoma County as a meetings destination. And finally, developing visual assets that our team will use as promotional tools to sell the destination, including videos and a new creative campaign. First, we have created a video series which has 2 parts, meetings and weddings. Both series have on-air personalities that walk planners and couples through Sonoma County, showcasing the best of hotels, venues, and the seasons. The videos will be released in the coming months. And as the study suggested, the planning community may not be too familiar with Sonoma County or our products, so we set out to create individual videos for the conference hotels in Sonoma County to capture the essence and personalities of these properties to use as a promotional tool when meeting with clients at trade shows and when responding to leads. These 60-second spots highlight the key selling points of the properties and aim to give our clients a solid impression of the quality of products in Sonoma County. So let's take a look at one of the videos. The goal behind these videos is to showcase these independent hotels to the planners who might not realize that they exist within Sonoma County. And we can use that during our trade show presentations and also as we respond to leads through this event platform. In addition to the new video series that the business development team, our team will be launching the Connect in the Open creative campaign to share the industry and the exceptional experiences groups and travelers will experience in Sonoma County. Our integrated campaign speaks to the natural and open assets that make Sonoma County unique, and this campaign will be launching in the next several months here. Speaking of travelers, the travel industry sales team has a robust plan to increase visibility of Sonoma County both domestically and around the world. As international travel restrictions continue to loosen, Sonoma County Tourism has retained in-market representation in the United Kingdom, Germany, and Australia with the purpose of increasing visibility Sonoma County around the world. The team has realigned with our strategic partners and deployed a robust travel schedule, which includes 8 trade shows, FAM tours, in-market activations, and travel co-ops for our SCT partners. And finally, this program of work is rounded out by the Star Travel Network Agent Train Program. The team is hard at work and currently serving 2 different trade shows in Frankfurt, Germany, so they're not with us today. But as you can see, it runs through travel trade, these face-to-face meetings that we're gaining and going for. On a local level, we've launched the Sonoma County Tasting Pass and the Distillery Pass in 2021. You can see the stats on the screen here that we shared $60,000 worth of revenue with our participants to date, and Kira Butts in the room here, our coordinator on the business development team, is recruiting new participants onto these 2 different distillery passes and the tasting pass. So if you're interested as a winery, brewery, or distillery, I encourage you to talk to Kira today. And hotels, I encourage you to take a look at this pass because you're able to package this with your rooms or just offer it to your guests as a seamless transaction to get them out into the community. And finally, Sonoma County Tourism is taking a hard focused look on weddings and how we approach that market. So again, giving a shout out to Conrad that Claudia did a few moments ago, is running a perception study to find out more about how wedding couples and planners perceive Sonoma County as a destination. So more to come as we launch these things, but I'll turn it back over to Claudia, so thank you very much.
Our next priority is destination stewardship. We're going to turn it over to Kelly here in just a moment, but I would also mention that this is where our Destination Resilience and Sustainability Master Plan lives, is within this section. We are in the 2nd phase of a 3-phase project with that. Many of you have been involved with our focus groups, and we appreciate your time in that. But this year will really be the time when we start to talk about that plan, provide results, and so lots more to come on that. We'll have separate meetings as we launch particular components of that plan. But until then, I'm going to turn the time over to Kelly to talk about our community engagement efforts and those efforts that really directly impact sustainability.
Thank you, Claudia. I'm excited to share some of the work that we've been undertaking in destination stewardship, helping to provide travelers with the experience they seek while leaving a positive footprint on our home. So a year in, and the Accredited Hospitality Professionals Program has continued to evolve our programming as needed. In this next year, we're going to see classes continue to be offered to our partners, closer partnerships with our local chambers to get our AHPs out into your communities, and a large focus on continuing education. Additionally, we will continue our partnership with local high schools thanks to generous scholarships from the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Sebastopol and the Petaluma Lodging Association. In this past year, we have added a carbon footprint calculator to our website so that travelers can calculate their carbon emissions when they travel to Sonoma County. And they can then choose to offset them through Sustainable Travel International's third-party verified carbon offset projects. And the next year, we will be expanding to create a carbon offset incentive program, working with all of you to create special experiences for those that have chosen to offset their carbon footprint when they travel to Sonoma County. Next week on September 27th, it is World Tourism Day. And on that day, we are proud to partner with Sustainable Travel International along with our media partners, Zinc Media and Sublime. And we will be releasing a video that features Sonoma County as a sustainable destination. They'll be releasing several videos featuring destinations across the globe, and we're proud to be featured in this international video release. If you've flown through STS lately, you've seen that work is progressing on the new terminal facilities. Set to open in mid-November of this year, Sonoma County Tourism has been working with the airport team on a number of initiatives that will welcome visitors to Sonoma County. This includes branded welcome signage that will greet passengers entering the new terminal from the tarmac, digital displays offering visitor information, and then we've also partnered with Creative Sonoma and the Sonoma County Airport for a public art installation by local artist Marissa Moroz. This piece will feature Sonoma County landscapes and recycled materials to remind arriving travelers that a place worth visiting is a place worth protecting. We're also going to continue to encourage visitors to leave our outdoor spaces cleaner than they found them. Our Rewards for Rubbish program encourages visitors to pick up trash when they're out and about in exchange for a small reward. Sonoma County Tourism will continue its partnership with the Russian River Confluence and its joint Rewards for Rubbish trash collection program, ultimately securing 20 participating businesses in this fiscal year and potentially expanding to additional businesses at the start of the fiscal year 23-24. Additionally, I hope you've seen one of these signs around the county. We are going to continue caring for the 5 roads that we've adopted with an additional 12 road cleanups in the year to come. We invite you to join us. It's a great way to get your steps in. In the past year, we have also launched the Hospitality Collaborative, which gets our staff out and about into our communities and connecting with 5 to 7 partners in a small group setting in partnership with the local Chamber of Commerce. This not only allows our staff to get to know our partners better, but it also gives partners the opportunities to connect with each other. We're holding about 10 collaboratives a year, so let us know if you're interested in participating. And lastly, I'd like to talk about our partnership with Leave No Trace. We're incredibly proud of this partnership that we formed with Leave No Trace in Sonoma County Regional Parks. Moving forward, we're going to continue to support the growth of the new 3-county initiative between Sonoma, Marin, and Mendocino counties, which is called the Cleaner California Coast. This initiative is a commitment to address coastal trash and litter through the development of shared goals and uniform messaging that will apply along the Northern California coastline. We have also launched the Leave No Trace Coalition, which allows businesses and land managers across the county to spread the Sonoma County 7 Leave No Trace principles through their interactions with our visitors. One of the assets available is our new video series supporting the Leave No Trace principles. So I'd like to share one of those videos with you now.
Sonoma County's vast and magnificent parks are primed for exploration. While shortcuts may be tempting, please don't take or create them. Our trails protect wildlife and vegetation and provide a safe path for wanderers to soak in the wondrous scenes of nature. While the backdrop of our coastal cliffs can be enticing, the surfaces are not always stable. Please stay on designated trails and heed warning signs. Other small actions, like conserving water, can make a big difference. When we minimize human impact in our outdoor spaces, we help keep them pristine, beautiful, and healthy for all.
So one of the things that's incredibly important with Leave No Trace is helping people to understand before they come here how to behave when they come, and then also spreading the message when they're here about how to behave. And so one of the things that we're committed to is helping all of you spread that message. And we've worked closely with Leave No Trace on developing materials that are based on research about how to share that information. And so we're going to do a question, so if you hop back onto your phones, it should have just advanced. And so one of the things that we're asking is what materials would be most helpful in communicating your sustainability efforts to your guests. And while you're thinking about that, I just want to recognize that this year we've added a new position, and that's our Manager of Sustainability and Climate Initiatives, Devin McConnell in the back there. And Devin, his entire role is to work on these programs and to work with all of you on what is going to work best for your business in terms of spreading this responsible travel messaging. So if you've got questions or you need support or you want to ask about, hey, is this green business program really, is this something that I should legitimately go through? I encourage you to reach out to Devin. So this is very helpful for us. And then we are going to take this, and this will help us as we put together new materials in the next year. And if you have other ideas that are not on this list, let us know. So with that, I just want to talk a little bit about Leave No Trace in the next year. We will expand our digital campaigns to reach visitors before they get to the county. We'll continue with visitor engagement, our local activations, and then also really working on accessible and inclusive approaches to reach people across the county when they visit. So we've got a lot of work ahead, but we're incredibly proud of what we've done so far. And now I'd like to turn the stage back over to Claudia. Thank you,
you, Kelly. The work that the community engagement team is doing, I think, is just phenomenal. There aren't a lot of organizations like ours around the country so dedicated and has such a professional approach to community engagement. So what Kelly's doing is really extraordinary. So thanks, Kelly, to her team, certainly to Devin, to Tracy, for all they're doing on behalf of our organizational sustainability and destination stewardship initiatives. So third up, we have organizational sustainability, and this really is around our values of being transparent, of being good financial stewards of the dollars that are given to us. And you've heard from Lori about what happened last year, and so we're going to hear again. She's going to take out the big crystal ball and look into next year and see what she's forecasting for the year ahead. So, Lori.
Thank you, Claudia. I will be brief. I know it's probably more financial information than most of you like to hear about all the time. Looking at next year, our distribution of funds remains relatively similar to prior years. Marketing and PR will account for approximately 55.6% of total expenditures. Business development and travel trade will be increasing their spend as international markets and hopefully groups open back up considerably to 19.6%. Community engagement at 8.4%, and we will be decreasing our administrative costs to 16.3%. Using industry forecast reports and historical data, we're projecting our TOT and BIA revenue to grow by about 4.5 to 5% for our fiscal year 22-23. We're anticipating a higher growth in our BIA revenue of approximately 6% due to those municipalities that weren't quite performing at 2019 levels, which leaves more opportunity for growth and recovery. Our other income will see a decrease due to those one-time fundings that we received last fiscal year. You've just heard quite a bit about some of the exciting programming that our team is working on for this year. Advertising and digital engagement are a large portion of our budget going into this year. In addition to the normal seasonal campaigns, as Todd mentioned, we are entering into the activation with the Today Show to broadcast from the county and the additional programming that they're doing to showcase the destination. The marketing team also continues to work on the development of the app as well as start that redesign of our website. Research remains a strong priority of the organization, and we're adding in a study of our visitor centers to better understand what visitors are looking for from those visitor centers and what we can do to help them. We'll continue to sponsor those local events that drive overnight visitation to the destination. As mentioned earlier, our business development team has developed new programs to provide assistance and funding to hotels to book group business. They'll continue to look for opportunities to sponsor functions at trade shows, as well as starting to focus more on our international markets, and we have funds earmarked for another large client event in one of our key markets. We will complete our destination stewardship and resiliency master plan by the end of the calendar year and continue with our sustainability programming throughout the county. We continue to focus on keeping our administrative costs as low as possible so that we can drive those funds towards other programming. With that, I will turn it back to Claudia.
Thank you to all those who provided presentations. Are you excited about the year to come? Yeah. Good. I think we have great momentum. You know, this industry has been so exceptionally resilient over the past 5 years, and to see that, you know, hopefully there's really some light at the end of these tunnels we keep finding ourselves in, I think is really a positive sign. But we wanted to leave you all today with something that is even more motivational and hopefully provide you with a great smile on your face and great inspiration as you depart here today. So I'm very pleased to introduce to you our final speaker, who's kept